we're in one of Patheon's many facilities. This one is in Swindon in the UK. Before we get talking about some of the challenges of choosing a manufacturing partner, can you just tell me a little bit about your experience? You have quite a unique view, I think, of the pharma world with your nearly 20 years of experience of constantly talking with big companies about their challenges.
Yeah, happy to. So I've been in the industry better part of 20 years, always been around the sales role. And I've seen the industry begin to change. The beginning of my tenure was associated with selling API, active ingredients, and transitioned to Patheon 5 years ago, which was a drug product company at the time.
Yeah.
As a result of that, I've got to see both sides of the industry in terms of the pharma service offerings, and the industry is definitely changing.
What are some of those sort of broader trends that you've seen over that time, and I guess what are some of the trends that are driving some of those high-level decisions?
Yeah, so what we see broadly across the industry, regardless of the size of the client that we're talking to, are some unique themes. Too many suppliers out there generally to manage, so we hear consistently from our customers that they want to reduce the number of suppliers they're dealing with. We see pressure on the industry from a pricing perspective because growth is coming from different segments of the market than it did historically. Emerging middle class all over the world is driving price pressure broadly across the industry. So we're beginning to see pharmaceutical companies thinking differently about supply chain as it relates to how to manage those realities.
Sure. And you mentioned there the pricing. I mean, that's a big issue across the industry, but it's also reached, I guess, into common knowledge, right? We're starting to hear comments from politicians, from the public sector about this need to drive costs down. What does that mean for the pharma industry? They're obviously looking for I guess more efficient routes to manufacture and to deliver those products. How are they dealing with that?
So I think from the angle that we look at the industry from, they're really looking at supply chain and evaluating whether the way that they've done supply chain historically is going to be suitable for the way they need to do supply chain going forward. In other words, can the pharmaceutical company and the supplier relationship generate value that it didn't generate historically? And the reasons that I think pharmaceutical companies are outsourcing is changing as time goes on, as the industry changes.
In what way specifically?
So the legacy of the industry really was that pharmaceutical companies typically went out and outsourced it to offset constraints in internal capacity, to access technologies that perhaps they didn't have internally, didn't want to invest in. We're seeing that changing now. There's really a question about what role does manufacturing serve? Is it high value? We know it's high cost. Are those costs sustainable in a price pressure environment for pharmaceuticals?
Yeah.
So there's a rethink beginning in supply chain in pharmaceuticals.